This is Renee Collins, and welcome to Overtones. Welcome, everyone. You are listening to the 11th broadcast of Overtones on WLXU 93.9 Lexington Community Radio. And I am Renee Collins, your host. I am joined this week by the lovely and beautiful Vanessa Davis. Let's give Vanessa Davis a round of applause, everyone.
Hello.
And Vanessa is here to fill in for Whitney Akey, and we are wishing Whitney well. She's a little bit under the weather, and this weather is easy to be under. Do you all agree with that? Mm-hmm. So I had to pull out the fall clothes again. So we just listened to the fabulous sounds of Lexington's Brother Smith, who open our show each and every week with their hit song, Happy Tune. And wow, do we have a lot to be happy about today. Right, Vanessa?
Yes, ma'am.
Vanessa and I are hosting some pretty amazing musicians, singer-songwriting performers in the WLXU Lexington Community Radio studio today for this special edition called RefLEXions. And that is, for our listeners, REF with an LEXions. LEX meaning Lexington. And this show will not only showcase the talent of these incredible Kentucky musicians, but will also explore the reflective process that goes into the artistic effort of placing words on paper and notes on a staff. We are also packing our bags and taking a trip back to what's truly important. And that important thing lies within each of our missions in life. So that's what we're here to kind of talk about, how we align our mission with our musical artistry. So I have a quiz here. So quiz time, everybody. Who placed these words into lyrics of a song? And here are the lyrics. Let your path be the sound of your feet upon the ground. Does anyone know? Now we need the Jeopardy song.
I didn't know there was going to be a test today. I didn't study.
Does anyone need to phone a friend? Should we poll the audience? Well, that was actually from a song called Carry On by the band Fun. And I love these compelling words. Let's think about this. Let your path be the sound of your feet upon the ground. And these marvelous musicians we are going to take this journey with today. For they too are putting their feet upon the ground in very powerful ways. So we have today, and let's give a round of applause for everyone. We have Lexington business owner and UK School of Music alum Marcus Wilkerson in the studio today. Mercer County Bergen School Counselor and recording artist, Travis Lee Kern. We also have Kentucky Center for Traditional Music alumni and a protege of Ruth McLean and Raymond McLean, Moorhead's Becky Alfrey. And if that wasn't enough, we have Kentucky-based recording artist and dynamic duo and regulars on Overtones, Joanna Oldfield and James Moore of the duo Joanna James. First of all, let's talk Red Barn Radio. And on Red Barn Radio, last week we saw Dr. Scott Whitten and Dr. Jim Gleason, professors at Transy and EKU respectively, and they thoroughly entertained the crowd. And this night also marked a debut guest host performance by WLXU's Matt Wickstrom. And Matt has a show called Wix Picks that you can hear every Wednesday morning from 9 to 10. You can hear the Red Barn Radio performance on WLXU 93.9 FM this Sunday on Lexington Community Radio at 9 a.m. And for Red Barn Roundup, we are pleased to welcome our own Overtones veteran this week, Travis Lee Kern, to the stage. This will be held on Wednesday at Lexington Arts Place at 8 p.m. So we have a lot of ground to cover. So let's get it all started out with Joanna James. And Joanna James, you all have a special guest artist with you today.
Yes, actually we are Joanna James and Company.
And Company today.
Yeah, so we have Mr. Joel Sardinis, and we are just thrilled that Joel is here to play with us.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
And Joel is starting to be a regular here as well. So welcome back.
Thank you.
We're so glad to have you. And what are you going to sing for us first?
We are going to start out with a song actually that got our Kentucky Tribute album started. It's called Kentucky Proud.
Okay, wonderful. Joanna James on WLXU Overtones.
I was born a Kentucky gal, and I'll die Kentucky. Proud. I was born a Kentucky gal, and I'll die Kentucky proud. Got bluegrass running through my veins. Grew up on Appalachian twang. Live in love in a small town. I'll always be Kentucky proud. This bluegrass state is my home. It's one place I'll never outgrow. Red birds and fields of gold. Simple beauty, wealth untold. There's nothing like that mountain air. City life just can't compare. Big bonfires and an old hayride. Gravy biscuits and my chicken fried. I was born a Kentucky gal, and I'll die Kentucky proud. Got bluegrass running through my veins. Grew up on Appalachian twang. Live in love in a small town. I'll always be Kentucky proud. Bourbon's not just a whiskey. It's a part of our history. Take a walk on the bourbon trail. There's nothing like barrel-aged ale. Come and visit our derby town. See the fastest horses around. Famous for wildcat pride. Big Blue certified. I was born a Kentucky gal, and I'll die Kentucky proud. Got bluegrass running through my veins. Grew up on Appalachian twang. Live in love in a small town. I'll always be Kentucky proud.
studio is most definitely smiling over that one.
I think everybody here is Kentucky proud, for sure.
Well, we sure are, and we are Kentucky proud of you all today, and so glad you're back in the studio.
Thank you.
We will be back once more after these messages.
There was a man I was long, long gone. Now I'm somebody's long lost son. But I've never ever lost for long. Walking around with my vagabond son. I got a song on the tip of my tongue. Bitter as a tea steeped in the cup too long. Inside I'm screaming like an OT kettle. Screaming on the stove top, forgotten the left on. Woke up this morning, cold, cold sweat. Sweat by burn me like a turbo jet. Woke up this morning, gripping my pillow, but unaware of how angry I am. I'm aware of stress that's passed on in my blood, but I don't know where from. Did I get it passed down from my daddy, or did I get it passed down from my mom? Woke up this morning, gritting my teeth. Anger takes off like a midnight thief. This anger that takes off when I awaken from this life I live while asleep. I had a dream so real I could smell it, so real I could taste it and I could feel. So vividly in my mind I could tell it, so colorful, so vivid and real. Some say it's danger in talking to strangers, danger in being alone. Sometimes I feel like I'm talking to still life. Strangers are all I've ever known. Yeah. I've got guilt that's built in my heart. When you're a thief, that's all that you feel. At least the cartel of fear and desire can make a man steal. Looking for love and looking for kicks, one night fear just as much as the next. Steady hand and quick to go through it. Heart still pounding the moment I left. There was a man and he's long, long gone. He was the father that once was my dad, but he didn't leave long after. He left me and my brother all the trouble and illness we had. My father was a worker of metal. He worked for years, bending steel with his hand. He'd come home drunk trying to bend my brother. He'd snap away like a damn rubber band. But he knows there's danger in talking to strangers, danger in being alone. Sometimes I feel like I'm talking to still life. Strangers are all I've ever known. All I've ever known. I was a boy, now I'm all grown up. Spending most of my life wishing I was all grown. Now I'm old enough to know better and still on the search for the great unknown. Walking for miles, I feel pain on my feet. To feel belonging, to feel complete. I saw a man, he looked ragged and worn. I asked him the time, he said time to keep going. Most of me is probably still 8. Seems like most of me still wanders and waits. I got tired of longing and looking for blind faith in a grown man's faith. I found more faith in things that don't move. I found integrity in a town statue, standing tall and still with iron will, strong and solid and moving and real. Some say it's danger, talking to strangers, danger in being alone. Sometimes I feel like I'm talking to still life. Strangers are all I've ever known. There was a man I was long, long gone. Now I'm somebody's long lost son, but I'm never ever lost for long. I got a song on the tip of my tongue. Inside I'm screaming like an OT kettle, screaming on the stove top, forgotten the left on. Screaming on the stove top, forgotten the left on. Seething on the stove top, forgotten the left on. Screaming on the stove top, forgotten the left on. Screaming on the stove top, forgotten the left on. Kind of like this.
Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Lexington Community Radio, WLXU 93.9 FM. And we have all just had the immense pleasure, and we are so fortunate to have just experienced the musical artistry and gift of song from Lexington's Marcus Wilkerson. Join me in welcoming Marcus to Overtones.
Woo-hoo! All right.
Marcus, 2 weeks ago, Overtones welcomed Olivia Faith, a contestant on NBC's The Voice that took her on a journey to L.A. And you are also, I think in a few weeks, making a journey to L.A. And you are flying to the left coast of the continental United States to, wait for it, everyone. What are you going to do, Marcus?
I'm auditioning to be the host on Blue's Clues.
Yes! Let's give him a round of applause.
The human host or the canine blue toned one?
No,
He's got it down. Well, my son grew up. It's all right. My son grew up just enjoying Blue's Clues so much, and I'm just real interested to hear more about this story. I love this story for so many reasons. But Marcus, tell us why you love this story.
It's always a story, isn't it? It's all about the stories. So, I was scrolling on Facebook from this weird urge. Maybe it's like, muscle memory to pick up my phone and look at it, right? And so I noticed that my partner, Paige, posted she posted a message on my my timeline about there being some audition going on in Burbank, California for the Blue's Clues, partly in jest, and I took it as that, and so I was like, yeah, she's like, wouldn't you be perfect? And I was like, yeah, I am a goofball, and it was funny. I just I kind of ignored it, though some part of me did sort of entertain the notion, right? And I went back to it, same urge, 2 minutes later, and I found that there were like 10 people who had commented already and said, Marcus would be great for this. This is awesome. And I was like, well, all right, maybe, I could do this. I mean, right? Why not? I'm going to California. I mean, what could go wrong? I mean, all sorts of things can always go wrong, right? But then 2 other people, not too long after that, said, Marcus, if you decide to do a GoFundMe, I'll put some money to it. So, I mean, yeah, I said, all right, that's plausible. Certainly, if I'm backed by a little bit of money, that's definitely a reason to do it. I mean, because I have all these other obligations. You got family.
Yes, you are a business owner.
Here, locally, we're like commuting from Burbank to Lexington. That's just crazy. But people do it. People commute.
Yes, they do. We are living in new times
for
right now.
2 months at a time sometimes, and then go back to Anchorage, Alaska, or someplace. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I definitely am taking it seriously, and it's funny to hear myself say that because this whole time I've been working on the script, and talking to my partner and my kids about it, and like, what if you win, and I'm really gonna do this thing. I'm gonna do this.
I love this, and I love the whole thing about why not.
Yeah.
And I think that's a question a lot of us musicians need to ask ourselves constantly. Why not? And it's just such a beautiful story. I'm really interested. What do you have to do to prepare for this audition?
Well, they give you just a one-page script, that says nothing but, So we need to find out what Blue wants for their snack.
Okay. And you have to say that.
Yeah. So Blue's clues are a cup, a straw, and a cow.
I think he's got it, folks.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
Is this spoilers, though? Like, are you just telling us what happened on an episode?
I don't know. This could very well be, and, well, hopefully I won't get a cease and desist letter.
Exactly.
You just never know, I might just branch off and, do my own.
Well, we just wish you the best of luck in all of this journey.
Thank you.
And again, the theme today, let your path be the sound of your feet upon the ground.
Yeah,
your feet are going to be up in the air, right?
Yeah, that is true.
So let me just ask you, you are also a University of Kentucky School of Music alum, and you also own a local business. Tell us about this business.
Well, Jun Bug is, I manufacture a pro-biotic honey soda that's similar to a kombucha, but a distant relative. There's a lot of folklore, regarding what they call June or June kombucha, depending on what part of, the country you live. But Jun Bug is an organic white peony white tea, cold steeped in Climax, Kentucky spring water and sweetened with a Midway, Kentucky raw honey. And the symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast that I use, which is basically a culture, you introduce yeast to different kinds of fermented products like beer. We all love beer. But this symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast, and when I say symbiotic colony, we're talking bacteria and yeast living together on what they consider a polymer bond or a SCOBY. It has an affinity for the sugars that are naturally in honey. So it's kind of like kombucha plus, because it's got the added benefit of the local raw honey. So I'm in almost 70 stores now. You can find Jun Bug at Good Foods Co-op, Whole Foods Market, Lucky's Market. If you're ever in Cincinnati area, you can find it at Jungle Gyms. There's several places you can find. Lots of really awesome small places like Third Street Stuff, which is one of my first accounts. So shout out to the Pat Gerhardt with the Third Street Stuff, and Wild Fig Books and coffee.
Well, I just wonder if you have a lot of balls you're juggling in the air, it seems like.
It's true.
And how does having a purpose and a mission in life serve you, your family, your friends, and your career?
That's what makes me get up in the morning.
Yeah. There's a quote from Mark Twain that says, the two most important days in our lives are the day that we were born and the day that we find out why. And do you have, just let me ask you, Marcus, do you have any doubt whatsoever about what role music plays in your life and for what purpose you're supposed to share your gifts with others?
Not at all. Some of us are born with this sort of exuberant, personality that's just kind of out there, and I think that that kind of energy is to stimulate thought, conversation, and just so many other things, creative things that can sort of happen spontaneously with people that are sort of like that. And I think I'm surrounded around people like that right now. But it's music is a catalyst to to other things. Obviously it keeps cultures cohesive. It allows us to empathize with other human beings. But it's also just an avenue to realize and understand that this world is so much bigger, and this universe is so much bigger, and so many things are to be offered. I mean, if you can hear it sonically, I mean, that's just a drop in the bucket.
Yeah. We all wish you the very best as you put your feet up on the ground, or I should say your body 30K up in the air, right?
Yeah.
To embark upon another leg of your musical journey.
Absolutely.
What are you going to share with us next?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. I was going to play my Jun Bug jingle, but then I was thinking, maybe it should be something a little bit more serious. Just kidding. I think I'll play, let's see. I will play a song called Cigarettes for Company.
Okay. Carry on, Marcus Wilkerson.
You have to imagine a trumpet. Can you imagine a trumpet?
I can imagine a
trumpet.
trumpet.
Close your eyes and imagine a trumpet. Maybe a stand-up bass. And maybe some brushes. Not blue. Why are you putting blue in the song? I mean, you can if you want, but... Sitting here in disbelief when a sedative filled me. Never thought I'd see the day. A monologue for this dinner play. One chair, one table, bare white walls, no curtain call, and no applause. Just cigarettes for company. Light another one for me, light another to complete some semblance of symmetry. Light another to complete. Legs across with drink in hand, I can now cry on demand. Cigarettes for company. I think you were Joan of Arc. Characters I used to like suddenly met their fate tonight. Since we recently been apart. Juliet, Romeo, Capulet, Mercutio. Watched it 3 times in a row, and each time Tybalt stole the show, calling an imbalanced view. But it's just a lean off self-esteem, with cigarettes for company. Imagine made in heaven. Yes, by far. I turn around, and there you are. I thought our love was true. Now something smoking, as though something lives. I turn around, and there it is. about you, but a cigarette will do. Thank you, you're too kind. I'll be here from 9 to 9 until I naturally fall asleep. Don't you worry, don't you fret, life has not outlived you yet. Cigarettes for company. For company. For company.
You've just listened to Marcus Wilkerson, and we will be back after the break.
Sad, deep down I was always sad. People saw the fun I had, and man, they never knew. You came through all the years you came. You lifted myself blame. Did I do the same for you? Oh, now I found the corner lot in better weather. Sometimes it rains, but there's peace like forever. It's funny how God could have eased my mind by saying, in the end, you'll marry your best friend. Maybe it wouldn't have been funny then. A mess. Our lives were such a mess. Could we have handled all the stress coming from where we'd been? One shot, you know that's all we've got. Would you have rather cast your lot with who we were back then? Well, now we found a corner lot in better weather. Sometimes it rains, but there's peace like forever. It's funny how God could have eased our minds by saying, in the end, you'll marry your best friend. Maybe it wouldn't have been funny then. better weather. Sometimes it rains, but there's peace like forever. It's funny how God could have eased our minds by saying, in the end, you'll marry your best friend. Maybe it wouldn't have been funny then.
Wow, we are just getting a great concert here today, are we not, everyone? Yeah. So you were listening to Overtones on WLXU 93.9 FM Lexington Community Radio. I'm Renee Collins. And Travis Lee Kern, welcome back to Overtones.
Hey.
Let's get a round of applause for Travis.
All right.
Thank you.
Travis will be on Red Barn Live this Wednesday at 8 p.m. at Lexington Arts Place. And Travis, let us know what we can expect to hear from you. You are one of the Twisted Cork's most frequent flyers in terms of taking the stage for Songwriters in the Round and also blessing us with your appearance at some open mics. And it's always such a pleasure to hear your songwriting and to hear your performance.
Well,
and you've got some of the best pitch I think I've ever heard. Do you all agree?
Oh,
Just
well,
amazing.
thank you for that. And
So what can we expect?
well, I'm going to be there with my good friend and the guy that helped me produce my record, The Coleslaw. His name's Daniel Lay. He's actually in the studio. You heard him on the Telecaster right there.
Yes, and let's give Daniel a round of applause.
Yeah, and we'll be playing together 15 original songs, and I'm so excited about it. And, you know, when I think about the evolution of the record coming about, I went to Daniel first, and I said, you know, I have this idea, but it seems so daunting. Can you help breathe life into these songs? And he did that, and then some. And so, really happy to be here with him today, and I'm glad he's going to be with me on the Red Barn.
So am I. And I'm going to turn the microphone over to Vanessa, who has also had the pleasure of seeing you perform at the Twisted Cork.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen Travis perform at Songwriters in the Round. I think maybe I've seen you twice in the round, and once was by accident, which was kind of a funny story. You want to tell us?
Yeah,
what
that was
happened there?
amazing. Yeah, so I was there to hear some good music. I mean, you know, every single time at Twisted Cork, you see the list of people, the lineup of the Writers' Rounds, and you're like, wow.
Like,
and
how can I stay home?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I was there. You know, I saw the first round, Whitney Akey and Ray Adams, and I can't remember who else. And the next round was going to be Chris Bentley and some folks. And,
Chelsea Nolan, I
Chelsea
believe.
Nolan, that's right, Bob Shirley. And Whitney came up to me and was like, Travis, Chris isn't here. Do you want to go? I was like, absolutely. Can I use your guitar? So that was a really thrilling experience. And it's always just a pleasure to play at the Twisted Cork. I have the utmost respect for that place. It is a real gem in Lexington, and there's no wonder why it won, you know, Best Live Music Venue at the Lexington Music Awards. I mean, it's fantastic. It's a family, really.
Absolutely, I totally agree. I love the Cork, and what has the Twisted Cork contributed to you as far as an artist and your songwriting and your performance?
Well, that's an easy answer. First of all, just being a part of the Lexington community, for me, started at Twisted Cork. And also, my performance on Red Barn really evolved from that time. It was in October. I had just released my record, and I was like, man, I need to get out. I need to perform some of these songs. And I went to the Red Barn open mic on a Sunday night at Twisted Cork, 6 o'clock. It is jumping now. That night, it wasn't so much as far as I came right in, I signed up and took the stage, and it was just magical. And people took care of me there. They really got the songs, they got the music, they were laughing when they were supposed to laugh. And
and not when they weren't supposed
yeah,
to.
and you know, gosh, I got up and played. There was some extra time, so I got to play another set. And it was just a beautiful experience. I came home and told so many people about it because I just had a really magical experience. And I feel like that night set the course for fulfilling a dream of mine, which is to play on Red Barn. And I'm a longtime listener of Red Barn. I take that very seriously. And this is a real bucket list opportunity on Wednesday, so I'm really happy about it.
Well, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
And I just realized that I'm going to be free on Wednesday, so I think I might come and check it out. I'm normally not, but it's spring break.
Absolutely.
So Wednesday evening, hey, now I know what I'm doing Wednesday evening.
That's cool.
I'll come and check it out. That's awesome. So tell us more about your album and the concept of that. I read a review on it actually earlier, but haven't had the chance to hear the album yet. But just from reading the review, I was like, oh my goodness, I have to hear this album. Just the titles and the topics of the songs sound very, very Kentucky, and they sound like they're coming from a very personal place for you. Will you speak more to that?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. So I spent some time in Nashville as trying to be a songwriter, and I did that whole scene, but I didn't have much success with it. And I came home, and it was a really freeing experience to come home and really start to explore a deeper topics in my songwriting and whatnot. And one of them was really trying to imagine the life of my grandfather, who I never got to meet. He was killed in a coal mine accident, and so, but he had 9 kids with my grandma, my dad being one of them, and this tightest family, the tightest family you can imagine. We got together every Sunday, as many of the kids that could come together did, and that's my childhood. So much of my childhood was that. And so I wrote a lot of the songs trying to imagine some of the conversations maybe my grandfather Patrick would have with Lily, my grandmother. And even in doing so, though, a lot of the topics, though he passed away decades ago, they're relevant today. And even if you didn't know that backstory, I think that it's really it's relatable to people in modern times. It doesn't have to be a mine closing. It could be a factory or whatever else. And then there are love songs, there are happy songs in there as well that I was just kind of tied together through the theme of the album, and the name of the album is The Cole's Love. So that last song I played, Corner Lot, is a song for my wife. And so that's on the record as well, as is the one I'll play later on. Yeah, thank you for
Awesome. Yeah. So I'm interested to hear a little bit more about your collaboration with Daniel and how that got started, and how that's enriched both of your lives as a musician.
Well, absolutely. Well, Daniel is from Bergen, Kentucky, and I got to know him back in 2011, and it was so great to get to know him in that way. And I never had him as a student. He had an open period, and he asked if he could be basically like a teacher's aide. Well, it was my planning. So what we got to do is we got to talk music a lot, and it was really awesome. And so later on, years have gone by. He's been in several bands. He's been in Faith in the Unseen, which is a signed band. They were signed to a label. And then he's currently in a wonderful Lexington-based band, Much Obliged. And with some other guys from Bergen.
Oh, the name of the band is Much Obliged?
Much Obliged.
I was waiting for
yes.
I was waiting for what came after the Much Obliged.
No.
He's from this band Much
They
Obliged.
are
And I'm like, oh, you're
fantastic.
much obliged to them. What are they called? I get it now.
Fantastic band. And so when I was putting together the record, I went to him first. He got Jeffrey Alford, who's the drummer of Much Obliged, also a Bergen graduate, to help out. I knew Chip Minks, who's a bass player. He's in the Rooster's Crow, Derek Spencer and Maggie Lander in the game. And so his wife had taught at Bergen, so I knew her from there, and knew him through her. And then he actually, put me in touch with Maggie, so she plays fiddle throughout the record. And so it's really great musicians on there. That made me sound good. and it's just, it came together. We recorded it one weekend at Sneak Attack in Lexington with Jason Groves, and just recorded it live. And so there's a lot of energy to it, and it was just a beautiful experience.
Vanessa, in that review of your debut album, No Depression, by the way, a quote here. It says, a core takeaway from Kern's fine debut is its generosity of spirit and tenderness of imagination. One suspects the coal in this artist's musical bucket will never be low.
I love that. That's
I
such
do
a great
too.
quote.
That's
And
really
what are
nice.
you going to sing for us next, Travis?
Yeah, well, I'm going to sing maybe the genesis of the album was this song called Community College. I was imagining.
My favorite.
Well, thank you. And I was imagining my grandfather having to deal with maybe the mine closing, and there was always a big push whenever there was a lull in the coal industry to push miners to go and get more education at a community college or whatnot. But there can only be so many HVAC repairmen in a community, and he lived in a community called Rye Cove. He lived in Duffield. Rye Cove's in that area, and just not needing a new job, needing some more education, but not wanting to leave home. So this is called Community College. Registration ends August 10th, and my friends say I better be on the road, 'cause this might be the last chance we get to find a job now that the mine's closed. But the community college didn't have the class I wanted, how to feed your family without leaving Rye Cove. And there ain't no starting over when you got nowhere to go, stuck between a hard place and a lump of coal. I bought a golden ring with my first load, and the Lord and Kathy gave me a happy life. That was almost 20 years ago. Now I need to change overnight. But the community college didn't have the class I wanted, how to feed your family without leaving Rye Cove. And there ain't no starting over when you got nowhere to go, stuck between a hard place and a lump of coal. Little Jessie's going there this year. I never thought a girl would grow so fast. Yesterday I held back the tears when she said she could tutor me after class. But the community college didn't have the class I wanted, how to feed your family without leaving Rye Cove. And there ain't no starting over when you got nowhere to go, stuck between a hard place and a lump of coal, stuck between a hard place and a lump of coal. I'm stuck between a hard place and a lump of coal.
Great job. You've been listening to Travis Lee Kern. Thank you for being with us again
Thank you
today.
very much. It was a pleasure.
And everyone, we will be back for more music after the break.
Got tired of running, so I went back home. Wanted to see Mom and Dad. 44, divorced and alone. Not the best time I've ever had. I wish I hadn't stayed away so long. There's only fear that kept me gone. Got so busy living life, forgot the reason why. Daddy took my hand, walked me down the lane, and said it's been a while. Mama went to heaven about a year ago. Time sure does seem to fly. Wish I hadn't stayed away so long. It was only fear that kept me gone. I got so busy living life, forgot the reason why. We sat and talked over a cup of joe, catching up on good times past. Daddy caught a yawn, said I'm turning in, 'cause 5 o'clock will get here fast. Wish I hadn't stayed away so long. It was only fear that kept me gone. I got so busy living life, forgot the reason why. Watch the sunset, skies are red and gray, kinda like my life has been so far. No regrets for yesterday, the past shows you who you are. Wish I hadn't stayed away so long. There's only fear that kept me gone. Got so busy living life, forgot the reason why. Wish I hadn't stayed away so long. There's only fear that kept me gone. I got so busy living life, forgot the reason why.
What a nice ending, Becky.
Thank you.
It was beautiful.
That was absolutely beautiful. You are listening to Overtones, WLXU 93.9 FM, and let's welcome to Overtones, Moorhead, Kentucky's Becky Alfrey.
Woo-hoo!
Appreciate it.
Becky is also an alum of the Red Barn stage, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you are a protege of both Ruth McLean and Raymond McLean of the McLean family.
Absolutely.
Who do you have with you here today, Becky?
I have Jim Green of West Liberty. Yeah, of West Liberty, Kentucky. And Jim and I were in songwriting class together, and I found out he could write and play and sing, and I just grabbed him.
Well, that's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, Jim.
Yes, thank you.
Becky, tell us about your musical connection to the McLean family.
Well, I met Raymond about 10 years ago when I got tricked into taking a harmony class, and he took it from basic harmony to really high advanced theory, but I got addicted to it, and so I came back to my roots of bluegrass and the traditional music and country, and just really enjoyed it. But I met Ruth a couple years after that, and I ended up becoming a vocal major at MSU, and so she's my vocal coach and just keeps pushing me to higher heights.
I want to know where these classes were when I was in the School of Music. Right, Marcus? We've heard about a harmony class. We had Dr. Holm Hudson here, and he talked about teaching pop music and theory and taking a look at how all that kind of intersects.
Yeah.
So, Becky, you are an introspective songwriter and a very radiant performer, and your love of all music and all musicians is so clearly articulated in your words.
Thank you.
And it's also so strongly communicated and appreciated in your support of others around you. So tell our audience how you discovered your musical mission and how did it serve you in the making of your first CD?
Well, I went about it backwards. I was performing at a show one day, and this lady came up to me and asked if I had a CD, and I didn't. I said, well, you know, I'm getting to start working on one. And she told me, she said, well, I need music for my funeral because I'm dying. And it touched me so deeply, I went behind stage and boo-hooed. I mean, I was just like, I can't do this. But I went on stage and sang Wayfaring Stranger, and I just talked to her when I sang it. And she told me, she was like, you've got to record that for me. I want to play it. So it took about a year. I went and talked with Raymond McLean and asked him, you know, what do I do? What steps should I take? Who do I hire, etc. And he told me, he said, take 6 months and journal it. Just write everything down. Find out, you know, what voice you want to have. How's it going to work? What sound do you want? How long the song, etc. And so I did. I took about 6 months and I started building it. And the actual making of the CD didn't take very long. But the production of it was really long. But I put it out, and I wasn't 100% happy. Of course, you know, we always pick ourselves apart. And then you gave me your business plan. And when I went through that, I just kind of came to a grinding halt. Everything that I had planned, I did it, and then I stopped. And I started looking, and I was like, what message do I want to share? What's the point of my music? I like to write what I hear and what I see. So I just kind of started working on that and really getting into songwriting. And I found that I had a different path than I thought I did. And so it's taken me 2 years now to start on the second CD and a third CD. Kind of snowballed, but it was so beneficial. And I just tell everybody now, I said, get out there and do it. You know, sit down and write that and figure out who you are, what you want to do, what you want to show and say, and who you want to be to the world.
Are you able to share that mission with us today?
I have some of it written down. I found that the reason behind what I wanted to do was to be positive, realistic, down to earth, and relatable. I'm not concerned with the perfection of life because it's not perfect. If you hear the cracks in my voice as you do now from allergies, or you see tears when I'm singing, it's real. That's me. I found that I don't fit in a box. There's not a box to put me in. I like lots of different music. I like folk and traditional and blues and bluegrass and gospel and country. I sing what I feel. And my theory has been, if it's not your taste, just turn the channel. There's somebody else out there. So
you found a lot of power in taking some of these questions that I presented to you and writing them down on paper.
Yes. I do that with songwriting now. I no longer punch it into my phone like I used to. There's nothing there, but if I put it pen to paper, I remember it.
Well, and that brings up an interesting point. I always like to share with people that I'm working with on career planning and defining your mission, that it's much easier to align everything around a mission if you have one written, right?
Yes.
So Dr. Stephen Covey once said, we don't invent our mission, we detect it. And I never see that more, I guess, clearly than when I look at musicians and how they go about the songwriting process. So your story is a living, breathing testament to the power of a number 2 pencil landing on a piece of paper.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
And I'd like to challenge everyone in this room to kind of think about their musical career in those terms as well.
Yeah.
What are you going to sing for us next?
Well, next I have a song that, as I said, I write what I see and hear, and I call it my angry song because I was angry one day and it came out. So this is called Leaving Me This Way.
Becky Alfrey on Overtones, everyone.
I've been working, my fingers to the bone. I got nothing left to show. For all the times I wasted being someone else's fool, only to find myself alone. What do you take me for, leaving me this way, thinking I get by on my own? What kind of man throws his heart away with words that cut me to the bone? Day in and out, giving you my love, only to have it tossed aside. Without a doubt, there's no more us. Can't you see the tears in my eyes? What do you take me for, leaving me this way, thinking I get by on my own? What kind of man throws his heart away, words that cut me to the bone? you call love. I know it's you and not me. That's what makes it so rough. What do you take me for, leaving me this way, thinking I get by on my own? What kind of man gives his heart away? The words that cut me to the bone. What kind of man throws his heart away? Words that cut me to the bone.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was Becky Alfrey on Overtones, and we will be back with Kentucky-based dynamic duo Joanna James after these messages.
Left him there in the gorge forever. One push bad romance. No one knows why he took that lead. It's one secret the gorge will always keep. Yes, the gorge will always keep. The secret safe for me. Thank you.
You have just listened to Joanna Oldfield and James Moore, and their celebrity name is Joanna James. That's what we the combination of both names, right? So let me just ask Vanessa, Where do you think this concept of mission that we've been talking about today shows up in the performances of Joanna James?
Well, what I love the best about Joanna James's music is that, to me, I think it's so Kentucky, but it's so beyond Kentucky. I love that. Like, to listen to them is to get a snapshot of what it means to be from Kentucky and to represent Kentucky musically and thematically. But their songs are so universal and so beautiful and unique and so well put together with the way that they collaborate, that I feel that it's essential listening for anyone, not just for Kentuckians. I mean, for anyone who just likes good music. I think they need to find Joanna James and they need to listen to their upcoming album, which I'm super excited about.
Yes.
And just, I mean, their sound is so soothing and so clean cut, but not like overly, like they don't try too hard to be perfect. Like, it just has this beautiful artistry that's so pure and so clean cut. I don't know if that makes sense, but like a raw honesty that's polished smooth. It's like taking a big old diamond and
would you like to
not
start
making
touring
it
with us and
perfect, but making something
introducing us?
beautiful. I would love to. Hey, I was telling Renee when she asked me to be on the show, I was like, you are getting yourself in for something, Renee, because I like to talk almost as much as I like to sing, so I'm going to be talking a lot today.
Well, we are so glad you're here today, Vanessa. You've just added a lot
thanks.
of value to the show today, and really appreciative. So, Joanna James, did I see you were on the state capitol recently?
Yes, yeah. We were there March the 8th.
Okay. And talk to us about what you were doing there.
We sang our version of My Old Kentucky Home. And
There's a little swing feel to it.
yeah, we kind of
cool.
wanted to give it a little bit of oomph. Not that My Old Kentucky Home isn't already a great song, but we kind of boosted it up a little bit and gave it some swing and jazz. And that was definitely an experience. I personally had never been in the state capitol before, so I didn't realize how beautiful it was. And it was an adrenaline rush, kind of.
Kind of surreal.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Well, maybe you can sing that one for us the next time you're back. I think they will be back with us on April the 20th. I believe.
Yes,
So,
we'll try to do that.
Very nice. And we are just so thankful that you were here today. And we are
it's an
also looking
honor.
forward to that release as well.
Well, thank you so
What's
much.
going to be the title? Have you all decided?
Bluegrass and Roses.
Bluegrass and Roses.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. And to bring the show to a close, let's send some positive vibes to Marcus Wilkerson. And let's also give him another opportunity to practice for his audition next week. So, Marcus, do you have one more for us as well? So while everybody's playing musical chairs, I just want to thank our guests, Joanna James, Travis Kern, Becky Alfrey, Marcus Wilkerson, and my guest host, Vanessa Davis. And Travis, we also wish you much luck on your maiden voyage to Red Barn Live this week. Joanna James and Becky and Travis, too, are anxious for a great way to get these CDs in everyone's hands in the future. Next week, we'll be offering our listeners another special edition of Overtones called Talk About My Generation. And we're going to have parent and child musical teams with us to talk about music from a generational perspective. So we have, are you all ready for this? Gail Winters will be in the studio next week with her son, Trip Bratton. We also have Song of the Year winner, Ray Adams, and his daughter, Chelsea. And we're also going to have Lexington Community Radio's Mary Clark with WRFL's and former member of the band Velvet Elvis, her father, John Clark, with us next week. So until then, this is Renee Collins. I'm working in concert each and every week to remind you that when words fail, music speaks. Have a great week filled with local music, family, friends, and lots of love. Goodbye, everyone.
Hard time, baby. Why are you sitting with your head firmly spit inside your hand? Look around you. Look up and down. There is firm, solid ground for you to stand. I know you're walking and you're talking to yourself. You're steadily looking around like there's no up ahead. You're steadily walking and you're falling and you're falling, 'cause you're falling and you're falling on your knees. Get on, little baby. Get on. Get on, little baby, 'cause baby, you got work to do. Remember, one day you were a-crawling and someone was a-calling out your name. Mama, Daddy held out their hands and they would not stop calling till you came. And one day you put your hand up on the rail and you stood up just like a bird up on its tail. You started walking, now you're running, and you're running, now you're gunning like a filly at the bell. Get on, little baby. Get on. Get on, little baby, 'cause baby, you got work to do. Get on, little baby. Get on. Get on, little baby. Baby, you got work to do. Baby, you got work to do. Uh-huh. 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 Baby, trying to convince them now the only one convincing now is you. When no one is with you, it's the space you require to spread your wings of fire. Here's what you do. You put your feet up underneath, you risk it all. You're so suspended you can't hear your mama call. And there you're hoisting into choice inside your head. That your choices that you either fly or fall. Get on, little baby. Get on. Get on, little baby. Baby, you got work to do. Get on. Get on. Get on, little baby. Baby, you got work to do. And then you need to risk it all. You're so suspended you can't hear your mama call. And then you hoist and there's a voice inside your head says that your choices that you either fly or fall. Get on. Get on, little baby. Get on, little baby. Get on. Get on. Get on. Get on. Get on. Baby, 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 you got work. Baby, you got work. Baby, 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 you got work.